Hello and welcome to another part of the e-commerce specialist course, and today we are going to talk about AWS. Now most of you who have already knowledge about AWS would wonder what is that is already not there on YouTube, or what is something new that you will find in this particular video. Well, have you checked my previous video? If not, go and watch it, because now I'm going to give you an extension of the setup on AWS, which is region specific. So if you're working with sellers who are placed in different marketplaces like US, India, Europe, then this will be more beneficial for you, because I'm going to cover the very specific setup on AWS, that is region specific. So let's get into the content, and before we discuss more about the region, we will also give you a little bit background, because you should know or understand the concept if you are already not aware. So let me give you a background on what is cloud computing, what is AWS, what is EC2, what is IAM, how is SE3 set up, and Amazon Lightsail, Amazon Redshift. So this e-commerce specialist course series part 2 on AWS region specific. Let me give you a little background on why you need to do a region specific setting. Well, if you're working with a seller that is placed in different marketplaces, then the AWS setting may vary based on your requirement. And believe me, it took me 10 to 12 hours to fix this one issue that I faced while implementing the same API setup for AWS, which was already done in the US marketplace, and I had to implement it in the Indian marketplace. And all the steps that I'm giving you in this video, it will take you only 30 minutes to fix that same issue. Hope this is helpful for you. Along with the region specific settings, I'm also covering a very brief background on AWS and the services that are included in the AWS. While this is only a very small overview or a brief overview of all of them, if you want to cover or are looking for a more extensive coverage on all of these services, then you can always join my course, because otherwise this video will end up for 4 or 5 hours. AWS is a cloud platform with more than 200 featured services. Way more features within those services as compared to any other cloud provider. So right from infrastructure technologies like compute, storage and databases to emerging technologies such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, data analytics and much more. AWS services that store customer data offer the ability to encrypt that data. Here are the most important features of AWS. Flexibility. The traditional models used to deliver IT solutions that require large investments in a new architecture, programming languages, and operating systems. Although these investments are valuable, it takes time to adopt new technologies and can also slow down your business. The flexibility of AWS allows us to choose which programming model, languages, and operating systems are better suited for their projects. So we do not have to learn new skills to adopt new technologies. Cost effective. Developing and deploying an application can incur a low cost, but after successful deployment, there is a need for hardware and bandwidth. Owning our own infrastructure can incur considerable costs such as power, cooling, real estate, and staff. The cloud provides on-demand IT infrastructure that lets you consume the resources what you actually need, hence making it cost-effective. Scalable and elastic. The AWS cloud is also useful for implementing short-term jobs, mission-critical jobs, and the jobs repeated at the regular intervals, hence making it scalable. Secure. AWS maintains confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data. Cloud computing is the on demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay as you go pricing. Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data centers and servers, You can access technology services such as computing power, storage, and database on an as need basis from a cloud provider like Amazon Web Services or Azure. Features of cloud computing. Resource pooling means that a cloud service provider can share resources among multiple clients, each providing a different set of services according to their needs. On demand self services enables the client to continuously monitor server uptime, capabilities, and allocated network storage. Cloud computing powered resources often undergo several updates to optimize their capabilities and potential. The ability of cloud computing to automatically install, configure, and maintain a cloud service, installation and deployment of virtual machines, servers, and large storage, blending with data security, which is one of the best features of cloud computing. If you are a service provider or an agency owner or an e-commerce professional or a student and you find this video beneficial, make sure to hit the like button. And in case you find any flaws or you have any suggestions to improve the video, please make sure to comment below. EC2 provides resizable compute capacity, which is a virtual machine in the cloud. Amazon EC2 provides the developers with the tools to build resilient applications that isolate themselves from some common scenarios. Features of EC2. Virtual computing environments known as instances, pre-configured templates for your instances known as Amazon machine images that package the bits you need for your server. Static IPv4 addresses for dynamic cloud computing, such as elastic IP addresses. Storage volumes for temporary data that's deleted when you stop, hibernate, or terminate your instance, known as instance store volumes. So let me quickly walk you through how to launch an instance or basically create an instance. Here you need to give a name for your instance, and these are the available operating systems or where you need to deploy. These are the AIM or the machine available for your instance. So you can pick and select as per your own requirement and then select the instance type. So the instance type is how much memory or space you need for that particular application that you need to specify. This is the network setting. If you need to edit something, you can click on the edit button, but you can let it remain. If you want a custom IP, you can select a custom IP. Otherwise, you can just let it be and launch the instance. So before I proceed with the rest of the content, let's talk a little bit about the global recession. We don't have a control on the recession or the inflation as such, but we do have a control on how we work. So we change the style of working, which on its own reduces our fixed costs. Freelancing platforms like Upwork promote remote hiring, and there are millions of SMBs that are hiring their teams through Upwork, which eliminates the entire process of building trust. Especially when you're starting out or you are an agency owner, you can't afford to spend so much of amount on marketing to build that trust. So what do? How do you approach those clients? Well, Upwork or such channels are more effective. And that is not the only process. That is just one channel to approach more clients globally. So when you want to approach more clients globally, if you are sending emails, that would take time. You should do that. But along with that, if you start building your reputation online through these freelancing platforms, because there the trust issue doesn't come up. But when you approach them one to one, it always creates a trust issue. So to eliminate the trust issue, Upwork has come up with that idea of hiring full-time remote or on a contract basis. Now, most people talk only about the big giants: Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Adani's, Ambani's. But for a change, should we talk more about the business patterns that the SMBs follow? Because if you're just starting out or you are a small service provider, it is difficult to imbibe the business practices that these giants follow. But it is very easy to follow the business practices that a small scale business is adopting. So probably take a closer look of what these SMBs do. Most of the service provider SMBs are present on these freelancing platforms, and I agree, these freelancing platforms charge a huge amount for each project you deliver. But think about it, if you combine both of them, your freelancing world and along with that approaching your clients one to one, you get a more wider range to attract these clients. So probably when you are on these freelancing platforms, you do not have to worry about building that trust and spend huge amount on marketing. And along with that, you can try and approach to those clients one to one. So either you are approaching through these freelancing platforms or you're approaching your clients directly. Try to close those clients that you can close on a retainer basis. So once you have acquired a long-term association with a retainer client, your cost of acquisition on marketing reduces considerably. So learn the most effective and efficient way of working, hiring and delivering remote. Join my team or my course and I will walk you through the entire step, all the technologies, the tools that we use to manage efficiently so many clients, and without being present or being involved with everybody on a daily basis, we keep the delivery as powerful and impactful along with delivering only quality work. IAM allows you to manage users and their level of access to the AWS console, used to set user permissions and roles. It allows you to grant access to different parts of the AWS platform. Features of IAM: multi-factor authentication. And AWS provides multi-factor authentication as we need to enter the username, password, and security check code to log in into the AWS management console. Granular permissions. You can control creation, rotation, and cancellation of each user's security credential. You can also control what data in the AWS system users can access and how they can access. Free to use. AWS IAM is a feature of AWS account which is offered at no additional charge. You will be charged only when you access other AWS services by using IAM user. So let me quickly walk you through how to create a user. So you can give a username and select these options of programmatic access. And if you want to give a security like a password to the console access, then you can select this. Give a password that is auto generated or select custom password and provide the password you wanted to have. And then next, permissions: copy from an existing user group or copy permissions from an existing user or attach an existing policy that is already there. If you need, you can create a new policy. Then you can add new tags to this user by clicking next. Add any tags that you want for the specific user to identify it, and then click next to create a group and create the user. Amazon Simple Storage Service or S3 is an object storage service that offers industry leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance. This means customers of all sizes and industries can use it to store and protect any amount of data for a range of use cases such as data lakes, websites, mobile applications, backup and restore, archive, enterprise applications, devices, and big data analytics. Features of S3. S3 is simple to use with a web-based management console and mobile app. S3 also provides full REST APIs and SDKs for easy integration with third-party technologies. Data is redundantly stored across multiple facilities and multiple devices in each facility. Store as much data as you want and access it when needed, hence providing scalability. Supports data transfer over secure channel and automatic protection of your data once it is uploaded. Robust capabilities to manage access, cost, replication, and data protection. The API endpoints of a seller partner API is associated with a specific region. Hence, when you are signing in for that particular region for the signature, you need to access that specific endpoint. So when we have an access to a specific endpoint based on that region, for example, if you are based in India, the endpoint for India would be different, and if you are based in Europe or US, the endpoint and regions would be different. So based on that endpoint and region, we get the marketplace IDs. And once we have access to the marketplace ID through that signed region, which I covered in my previous video, you can invoke the API for that particular seller and connect it to that specific marketplace. But before that, we should know what is the default region for your AWS. Now, when you sign up for the very first time on AWS, there is a region that you need to select. So if you, in case you don't select a region, it automatically takes you to the US based region, that is US East 1. But in case you do not provide a region, then I'm sorry, if you specifically provide a region, then that becomes your default region. And anytime you log into your AWS console, it always logs into your default region, and only when you change the region for a specific requirement or a specific instance, then the region changes. Otherwise, it remains same for the as the default region. Now EC2 is specific to a region, as you can see I've highlighted, but your IAM user is not bound or specific to your region, which means when you log into your EC2 console, you have to make sure that there is the region that is default, which you can see, you can set it here where I'm showing you. And in the IAM console, you do not have to specify the region because IAM always takes the default region. Now, how to make that IAM region specific settings? You can copy this JSON and add it to your user, and also edit the policy if you need it. These are the conditions and the region that you need to specify. This specific region EU West 1 is for the Indian marketplace, but in case your region is different, you can specify that region over here. Amazon Lightsail is a virtual private server service which gives you templates to choose from. You can either choose a plain operating system or an operating system with a pre-baked application ready to use with a click of a button. Amazon Redshift is a fully managed data warehouse service in the cloud. The initial process to create a data warehouse is to launch a set of compute resources called nodes, which are organized into groups called cluster. The authorizing access to Redshift depends on whether the client authorizes an EC2 instance or not. So in today's video, I covered a brief about the services on AWS and a region specific settings. Hope it was helpful and you were able to fix the issue that I faced in a few minutes. Next coming up is or a domain knowledge and domain aspect. If you are an e-commerce professional or a service provider looking to close more sellers globally, then you should be aware what is the distribution channel, what are the supply chain management, how to close a seller based on your expertise, showcasing that you are aware about the marketplace that you are pitching the client to. So you should be aware what are the products that are sold there, what is the supply chain management, what is the distribution network, and a research before you approach any client. So if you wish to close a client that you can charge a premium amount, that too on a retainer basis, make sure you are aware of all of this. Next, coming up, a detailed video on domain expertise, part of the series of e-commerce specialist course, part 3. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.